They don't have to leave the Dominican Republic to live a New York-style lifestyle because they got pregnant by you?
Yeah. Welcome to Compai's Expat channel. Everything expat.
Can you be responsible for paying child support from your home country in another country? The answer is absolutely. The mechanics are in place to do it. The mechanics been in place since the mid-90s. How do I know? It happened to me. I was forced to pay child support through a German court that was enforced by Ocean County, New Jersey, and the family court. How did this happen? There was this treaty signed in The Hague in the mid-90s. This treaty states very specifically that the rights of the child do not stop at borders. A lot of countries signed this, and all of Western Europe pretty much signed it. The Dominican Republic, Haiti, the Philippines, Thailand, Colombia. Basically all the places men go to have some fun. The purpose of this treaty is to hold the guys accountable to do what is expected of them, to pay child support, to support your children. We think that because we're American, we're going to go back to our home country. There's not a way for it to be legally implemented in our home country. That's not true. In the mid-90s, the treaty was signed in The Hague, and it allows the paperwork from one country to be served into another country. Now, from my personal experience, my ex-wife was German. My two kids were in Germany. So when I moved back to New Jersey, my wife went to her local county and they filed paperwork. So if you have a Dominican girl, all she has to do is go to her province. If you live in Sosua, she goes to Puerto Plata. Then from back in the day in the mid-90s when it affected me, it went from her county to her state to her federal government, served me paperwork. So I got served by the U.S. Marshals. What the heck is this? So I take it to my lawyer, and I'm like, why am I being served child support paperwork from a court in Plauen, Germany? How is this? He's like, John, don't worry about it. You have the constitutional rights, your due process, basic constitutional right. You have the opportunity and the right to confront your accusers. You have to go to court. I said, okay. He goes, don't worry about it. I said, okay. It's a brand new treaty. Nobody's seen it. 2 years later, the U.S. Marshals show up again. You've been served. John Kumpel? Yep, that's me. Yep, you've been served. What is this? Child support. I said, holy cow. But now it's different. I got a court date in Ocean County, New Jersey. So I go to Ocean County and I meet a case officer. And she's like, wow, you owe, now bear in mind, this is like 1999. She's like, wow, you owe close to $30,000 in child support, arrears. How are you gonna pay it? I'm like, I never been to court. Where's my due process? She's like, it don't matter. There's this new International Child Safety Support Welfare Act, signed in The Hague. You got to pay it, or we're going to put you in jail, and we're going to take your gaming license. We're going to take your driver's license. And I'm like, holy shit, how did this happen? So I had to get a home equity loan to pay that off. Here's the big thing I want everybody to understand. This process now is very streamlined. Because it's just the day that woman files in court, the initial filing, that clock is ticking, and you're paying from that day on. So let me get into this a little more on how simple it is to do this now. When I went through this process, It took 7 years to get from point A to point B, which would be the German court to being implemented in the American court system. It was so new when I did it. They're like, we don't know what this is. We've never seen this before. But we were told by Judge so-and-so, you have to pay. 2 years later, I got to go back to court. So now I'm going before the little cattle court. That's what I call it, the cattle court, where they just run everybody in. This is what you're going to pay. This is what you're going to. So I get the paperwork that the court does. But here's where I want everybody to listen to what I'm going to say, because this is some scary stuff. So I go before the judge, and I read my paperwork. I can read the German good enough to get an idea what I have to pay. But then I threw the paperwork down, and it landed upside down. And on the back side of the page was the English translation. Right? This is funny. So now I'm in court, and I know on page 18, it says exactly how much I'm supposed to pay. So it's no big deal. Germany has jurisdiction, and that's so key. Whoever files the paperwork in that country has jurisdiction. This is huge, because for me to fight this, I would have to go back to Germany, hire a lawyer, go through their court systems to have it implemented in America. And the lady says, John, did you bring all your tax returns? I said, I did not. She goes, you were ordered by this court to bring your tax returns. I said, well, it says on page 18 how much I have to pay. Germany has jurisdiction, not you. So Germany is telling me how much I have to pay. That's what I have to pay. And she said, you will not tell this court anything. And read me the Riot Act. Over here was an attorney representing my wife who lived in Europe. Every county has a law firm on retainer to get paid to represent the person that is not in that country. So if you're married to a Dominican girl, you're in New York, you're in family court in New York, there's a law firm that will send a lawyer that knows her case and will represent her. And I said, but you don't have jurisdiction. And she said to me, we want to make sure you're paying your fair share. That child is entitled to the highest standard of living. And I want to make sure your two children are going to have the best life they can have. I had to get an international attorney to actually fight this. It was horrible. I would rather have cancer again than go through the family court system anywhere. It was horrible. But your spouse who have the children, who has jurisdiction, gets a free lawyer from the state to fight you. Let me say that again. Under the way the court system is set up in America, there's a law firm paid for by the U.S. taxpayer from the county that you're going to, the county of the court system you're in, to fight you. Now, what format are they using? If you've ever been to family court, and let's say you're living in New Jersey, but your spouse is now living in Florida, they have that video monitor. Wherever the child lives, that state has jurisdiction. That's the format that the United States is using to implement this treaty. Do they have it worked out? This was when it was new, and it took longer. It's different now. It's a lot quicker. So what we had to do, I had to get a lawyer. I had to fight it. But every time I went to court, that lawyer was there. And not only is that lawyer representing the spouse, they're in communication. The reason they want your tax returns, so they're going to make sure you pay your fair share. Germany to America, it was a wash. Same standard of living. I just paid what I paid. It was pretty easy. But if you're an American and it's a Dominican, or the mother of that child understands the system and has an attorney who just doesn't want a quick paycheck but actually wants to do something, that child is entitled to the same education that they would receive in the state you live in. Also, that child is entitled to the same standard of living, apartment, food, health insurance, schooling. If you know it, to be able to get an American level of education here, it's a private school. That's $1,000 a month, easy for a good one. So if you have children down here, God forbid your wife or the mother of your child understands how that works. Clothing, it's soup to nuts. So I know girls who have children down here with gringos, and the gringo's like, I'm going to send $150 a month, getting off. The minute they realize what can happen, guys, you're screwed. And let's be honest here. They can find out where you live. Well, how? Well, they know when you're coming on and off the island. All right? There's only so many flights a day that land in Puerto Plata. I guarantee a lawyer can go through immigration and get a list of people who came in the country. Because everything's electronic now. They know your name. They know what city you're from. They'll be able to find out what flight you came on, and once they have your passport information done, then they can serve you. And once you're served, you're in the system. And guys, let me go back to this. Nowadays, it's easier. The system is streamlined. It goes right from Puerto Plata, goes right to the American Embassy. Then the American Embassy sends it to the county. It's that quick now. They have worked out all the details on this. I know guys who have dodged serious bullets down here because of this. They just kept things good with their wives. Hey, I'll give you a decent amount of money every month. They make them happy. But understand that it's not just the Dominican Republic. It's pretty much every impoverished nation, Asia, Caribbean, and South America, where a lot of Americans go. They're big on this. This is serious. So yes, you can be held accountable in the state you live in through your local county family court to pay child support for your children overseas. The treaties, the mechanisms, and the policies are in place, and they have been used for a while. So guys, be careful. Make sure you protect yourself. Make sure you know who you're getting involved with. I think, and down the road, this is going to get more well-known to these ladies down here because they're not stupid. Once they understand that they don't have to leave the Dominican Republic to live a New York-style lifestyle because they got pregnant by you, that's a jackpot for them. That is a home run. They'll be lined up outside of Puerto Plata to do it. The only thing that scares me is when they start paternity fraud, because now you got to come here and fight that, because they're automatically going to side for the girl, automatically. So guys, protect yourself. Keep personal private and private personal. Guys, please subscribe. Please hit the like button. I appreciate everybody watching. Peace out.